You were pooped that night? Yes, I was very, very tired. Not to mention I had some bad Mexican food. What? The double cheese double. Bean enchilada is a dangerous menu item. What happened after that, as they say, happens. That one was cool, huh? I hear the kids really love toilet humor these days. That joke was so hip, I don't want to ruin it with a reply. I've got a good reply, though. That joke was so funny, it just earned you a penalty. Are you fucking serious? Oh my god. You just so happened to glance out of the window. You could say that. You could say I peeked, stared, glimpsed, peeped, eyeballed. Mr. Curls. Oh, I guess synonyms aren't allowed either. What should I do? I wonder if I should press him further on this issue. Keep pressing. Exactly why do you look out the window that night? Why? Why? Clowns don't need a reason to look out their windows, do they? That's not what I meant. I meant that, well, when we spoke yesterday. Once I had tucked myself into bed, I heard this amazing noise. It was incredibly loud. It sounded like a giant thump. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. You forgot? Your Honor, the witness looked out of his window upon hearing a loud sound. He did not just simply glance out of his window that night. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that thump, didn't I? Oh. That's not something you just forget to mention. Yeah, what she said. I believe it would be best if Mo were to revise his testimony. Very well, Mr. Curls, please revise your testimony. This should start turning the tables in our favor. What was the sound like? Well, I guess it kind of sounded like, I guess you could say. Mr. Curls, may the court remind you that humor is unnecessary. Oh, don't, you know how I was gonna make a joke, huh? I guess that sounded like I suppose it sounded like someone getting hit with something very hard. Yep, that's what it sounded like, honestly. Someone getting hurt. What then? You went to look out the window and you saw... Far away, you say? If you had to say exactly, how far away were they? Let me think of that for a second. If my room was here, and they looked about yay big, I'd say they were about 30 feet from my window. Just 30 feet, that's not far at all. It was snowing that night, and it cut down visibility. I see, please continue with your testimony regarding the two shadows. There's the ringmaster and his Max. You'd say you clearly saw this, even though you were, by your own admission, far away. That's right, I had been thinking about it over and over since that night. But things didn't really make sense until I spoke with Prosecutor Von Karma. But now I'm 100% certain that it was Max and the ringmaster that I saw that night. Just think about it, how could I be wrong if Max is always wearing his uppity symbols? Uppity symbols? Lawyers nowadays, do you even have to go to school anymore to be one? Alright, everyone knows what to do, all together now, say it with Uncle Mo. See what I mean? It's always like this, the crowd never wants to do anything. I must really be utterly and completely worthless as a clown. Yowza! Enough foolishness, get back on track. Will the witness please testify as to what he saw, and only what he saw? That doesn't make sense, though. You say you saw the ringmaster get clonked over the head. Yes, I did. It's the climax of my story. He really does enjoy a completely random non sequitur. What would you say? You mean weapon? I have no idea. He got clonked with. A weapon wasn't found at the murder scene, right? No. You did say you saw the thing, didn't you? Well, yeah, I suppose I did. Wait, no, I didn't. I didn't see a weapon. Mo, did you or did you not see the crime of murder committed that night? I will not permit you to harass my witness in this manner. You'd better have an excellent reason for attacking this poor clown, because if you don't, you know what is waiting for you. A nice penalty. That's a big, healthy penalty. Wasn't that a bit melodramatic? So what will it be then, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Do you have any clear basis to believe that my witness did not see the crime? Go big or go home. I've got a great reason to make my claim. I suppose you'll be telling us all that great reason? Of course I will. The reason is, the witness's very own testimony. That's what I was thought. Because he said he heard a noise, and that's what made him look out the window. He can't have heard a noise and then magically he still hadn't gotten hit over the head first. What's the meaning of that, Mr. Wright? Moj said that he heard a sound like a thump of someone getting hit. He did say that. However, Moj just stated the following under oath. I kept watching them and all of a sudden Max clonked the ringmaster over the head. If Mo is to be believed, then he says he looked out of the window upon hearing the sound. There's no way he could have seen Max clonk anyone. In 1972, a crackdown clown unit... Stop it. Mr. Curls, how do you respond to Mr. Wright's assessment? They didn't commit. These clowns promptly escaped from a maximum security clown car. Mr. Curls, are you reciting the C-Team theme to anger this court? No. I'm still stalling for time while I jog my memory. Great job, Nick. These types of witnesses always seem to have a selective memory. You just have to peel back the layers of the clown makeup to find the truth. Well, oh, you're back from your jog? Well, it pretty much happened the way I said. Pretty much? When I looked out my window that night, the ringmaster was already face down in the snow. The prosecution helped me fill in the gaps of my statement. Von Karma. Tampering with the witnesses again. So now, you were saying that you did not see the defendant clonk the ringmaster? Yes, I looked out my window. The ringmaster had already checked out. Checked out? Yep, he was on a permanent vacation, as they say. Mr. Curls, Your Honor, you did not witness the actual crime. However, you still say you saw the criminal, correct? Yes, exactly. The ringmaster was slumped over, and I saw someone's silhouette next to him. Very well, then please testify the silhouette you saw. I expect the truth. And if I even catch a hint of the joke, I will put you in a holding cell until you learn court etiquette. Got it? Got it. I was a bit far away, but that shadow could only have belonged to Max. There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his uppity symbols. His silk hat, that black cloak, they were all there. His face was silhouetted, but there was no doubt that it was him. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying. It does seem as if the defendant was at the scene of the crime. You took your time realizing that, didn't you? Whatever. That should be enough, right? It is decisive testimony. Was Max really at the crime scene that night? He said he wasn't there. We have to keep believing that. Alright, Mr. Wright, commence your cross-examination. Okay. Don't you think that you're going a little overboard with how explicit you're being? That shadow belonged to Max is an awfully firm statement, don't you think? What are you getting at? I'm just saying that one of your fellow performers' life is on the line here. Are you truly 100% certain that it is Max? I'm not the kind of person who would lie about something as serious as this. The silhouette I saw was Max. I'm convinced of that. It doesn't seem like he's jumping to conclusions this time. Let's go over this again then. What makes you so sure that you saw Max that night? Trilo said the same thing. But if it was just the symbols, then even I could have been wearing them. What if someone had just taken Max's symbols and worn them? I thought of that myself, but it was just looking at the shape of the face. I saw it must have been Max. You're sure of that? Such a silly little boy. He threw his entire case headlong into a trap. That's all of his symbols? You're sure that was what you saw that night? Exactly what I said I saw is exactly what I saw. I've got eyes like a hawk. Don't birds have terrible night vision? But that's not all I saw. You were able to see that kind of detail from your window? There was a light near the scene of the crime. Anyone with decent eyesight should have been able to see that much. Out of curiosity, Mo, what is your eyesight like? I can see like a hawk out of my left eye, and an eagle out of my right. Our record says his eyesight is a perfect 20/20. That must mean he could have seen the crime scene clearly. The more we look into this matter, the more suspicious it becomes. Hey, you asked me what my eyesight was like, not what it actually was. So you didn't actually see what the criminal was holding? That's correct. I've been curious to know what caused that loud noise. It must have been something incredibly hard. Too bad they haven't found the murder weapon. They claim it's a blunt object. At least it says so in the autopsy report. With Trilo's testimony and Elmo's, it really seems like Max is the killer. Nick, you've got to find a contradiction in this. That's not going to be enough. What? I have to prove that Mo saw someone other than Max that night. That's the only thing that will help. I've got to do it. No. Oh, it's not a black cloak, is it? It's a purple one. Gotcha, buddy. And plus, he didn't list the last one either. You say you saw all of Max's uppity symbols? I suppose, the silk hat and the cloak, right? Mo. Everyone knows that Maximilian Galactica has 3 uppity symbols. 3 symbols? Yay, everyone get ready. All together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses. What the? Who cares if he knew that there were 3 or not? He saw what he saw, and he saw the symbols. He just forgot to mention one. Isn't that right, Mo? Do you like pie? I love pie. 3 point. Silence, fool. You are to respond with the whole truth, no fractions. Order. Mo, you didn't see the roses, did you? To be honest, there wasn't any roses on the person I saw. The crime scene was dark. It's obvious it was too dark to see that kind of detail. There's a light right there. But the witness said he was able to see the silhouette of the criminal's face. Not to mention the roses are white. There's no way he could have missed them. Then the roses must have fallen off when the victim assaulted the victim. If that was the case, then the police would have found them near the crime scene. Mr. Wright, are these white roses truly the matter of the facts of this case? Clearly not. He's just toying with this court. There's huge. I got her on the ropes now. Whenever there's a nugget of truth, it always seems to peek out at me, then run away. Someone's toying with the court, but it's not me. Your Honor, do you recall Trilo's testimony? There's no way I can mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup? How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby 3-piece getup? Trilo saw them all. However, the witness claims there is no white roses on the person he saw. Where are they? There's absolutely no doubt that this is a contradiction. Now what am I supposed to think? One's supposed to disregard the pointless, but this. Judge, forget the roses. Think about his other testimony. The witnesses stated without a doubt they saw Maximilian Galactica. Nothing else matters. Let's wrap this case up now. Your Honor, it may be trivial, but there should still be doubt lingering in your mind. Frankly, I have my doubts about this witness. It seems that unlike wine, the witness has not grown more mature with age. I'm not mature. I've come to a conclusion. I'm 99% certain that the witness saw the defendant. However, my remaining 1% of doubt is quite reasonable, which means that for my peace of mind, I'm going to request a bit more testimony. What? If there are no contradictions in his next statement, I am prepared to issue a ruling. Ruling? Nick, this is your last chance. I'm going to break this damn clown. There's no doubt in my mind, there were no white roses that night. However, all of the other symbols were there, I'm equally sure of that. Especially the silk hat. There's no way I could forget seeing the decorations on that. He was wearing it the entire time he was on the scene. That's a lie, the hat is at the scene of the crime. Mr. Wright, you've got one last chance at this. Just one? I will not allow even the slightest hint of badgering against this witness. If you are going to prove to me there's a contradiction with Mr. Curls' statement, you'd better have at least a shred of evidence to back up your accusations. I've only got a single shot at this. I've got to be careful. I understand, Your Honor. One chance is all I will need. The hat was left at the crime scene. I don't even... no. Sit down, clown, and get the hell out of my face. This wouldn't happen to be the silk hat you saw that night, would it? Yep, that's it. That's the hat he was wearing that night. No question in your mind. Exactly how would one mistake a thing like that? I see. Is there some sort of problem, Mr. Wright? Miss Von Karma? Where exactly was this silk hat found? Must you always ask these questions? It was found at the crime scene. The crime scene. That means... the silk hat fell off at the crime scene. However, the witness clearly testified to the contrary. The witness stated he was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene. No, that's not true. Order, order, Mr. Curls. Yes, Your Honor. What's the meaning of all of this? You are old enough to know better than to behave like this in court. Hey, that's not right. That's so harsh. It's not right here is your eyesight and your memory against other things. Or amongst other things. What? Why are you being so mean to me? What did I do? Let me guess, you just don't like my jokes or something, right? You didn't have to go and insult my eyesight or my memory. They're both great. Seriously, why? Just because if you're sitting above me, no matter how old I get, I'll always be younger than you. Enough of these childish outbursts, Mr. Curls. Who do you think you are? I saw him. I swear I saw him. It was Max. Even if he didn't have his roses, he was still wearing that dumb silk hat. I'm telling the truth. He's turned into a bratty little kid. It's painful, isn't it? He left the scene wearing that dumb silk hat. He was there. He left the scene. What's the matter, Nick? There's something I've been mulling over for a while now. Mo? What do you want? You just said that he left the scene. Exactly how did the murderer leave the scene of the crime? What? He went... What do you mean, how did he leave the scene? You can't ask me that. Mr. Phoenix Wright is badgering the witness, Your Honor. Bullshit, it's badgering. The witness's testimony is so full of holes, Miss Von Karma's protest is useless. You've got a point. Let's hear what the witness has to say on this matter. Is that alright with you, little guy? Don't talk to me like I'm a little baby. Besides, what kind of stupid question is how did he leave the crime scene? The answer is obvious. He just turned around and walked away. That's what I expected you'd say. You sure that's how it happened? Huh? I'm not sure I know exactly where you're going with this. Lawyers nowadays sure do love to harp on the smallest things. Do you have any proof to counter his story as to how the criminal left? Yeah, because there's no footprints. Look at this picture. The problem is the footprints in the snow. Footprints? In this photo, we can clearly see the footprints of the victim. However, where are the criminal's footprints? They aren't here. I'm getting an extra day, bitch. So, Mo, exactly how did the criminal escape the scene? Your Honor, the witness has already proven that his testimony is completely unreliable. I have moved to strike all of the witness's testimony from the court record. I agree. This clown's testimony is as rickety as the clown car he came into court with. Just a second. You guys can't just ignore everything I've said. Fine, I'll tell you the truth this time. Von Karma's gonna kill him. You wait a second. I think you've said more than enough for today. That didn't hurt. I'm sick and tired of listening to you anyways. I'll give you the real deal this time, I swear. I don't know why, but I get the feeling things are gonna get worse before they get better. Mr. Lawrence Carlos. Yes? The testimony you've provided until now has been false. It hasn't been false. I haven't lied. It's just what? It's just I was a bit confused on the bit about the criminal leaving the scene. Especially since Von Karma and her whip told me not to talk about what I really saw. Order! I will have order. Franziska Von Karma, how could you? Your Honor, if you had heard the truth from this witness, you would have exactly the same opinion as I have. What opinion is that? That he's fucking insane. It's not funny. That's enough out of you. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. Now then, let's hear the truth about what you saw. You're not gonna believe this, but it's all true, I tell you. Try not to waste our time with your idiotic drivel. Kind of feel bad for her that she has to deal with this dude. Now it's time for our next segment, Mo Knows. Everything that I've said up until now has been the truth. When I looked out the window, the ringmaster was down and Max was standing above him. He wasn't wearing his white roses, but he was wearing the silk hat. That's when I saw he... This is the truth now, get ready for it. He jumped up and flew through the air. He flew right off and disappeared into the darkness. How'd he leave his hat? That's why there were no footprints. Flying people don't leave footprints. I told you it wasn't funny. Do you believe me now? Well, that was, how do you put this into words? Maximilian Galactica is a world-class magician, but to leave the scene of a crime by flying, there's no way that actually happened. You're right. Why is she right? You believe the other witnesses. Why wouldn't you believe me, especially since it's the best part of the story? To be honest, this is the first time I've heard of a flying criminal. What do you think about this witness testimony, Mr. Wright? Solid dream, right? No, he's probably telling the truth. What he just said was so strange, I don't think he would have made it up. Which means that he is telling the truth. That's what I think. Nick, wait. That means that Max actually used magic. Yikes, you're right. Ow. Only a foolish-looking fool could be fooled by such a foolish dream. Don't be ridiculous. Magic does not exist. I suppose I'll let you all in on my thinking regarding this matter. The criminal disappeared into the sky. I'd love to believe that. But I just can't wrap my head around how it could actually happen. You imbecile. If you disregard a need for proof, Miss Von Karma's case is sound. However, I've got the feeling that this case is in dire need of a more investigation. Thus, I will conclude today's proceedings at this point. It is an undisputed fact that the criminal left no footprints at the scene. Tomorrow, I want us to find out the reason behind this mystery of mysteries. I believe that's enough for today. Court is now in recess. Thank God. Damn clown. Hey, sweeties. What in the world is going on? That's what I want to know. They saw the criminal... They say they saw the criminal fly into the air. Max, I can't believe I'm asking this, but you didn't fly that night, did you? I know you didn't mean to ask me such a fabulously stupid question. I can't fly whenever I please. It's not that easy. But it looks so effortlessly for you on the stage. It's not that simple. I'm just actually flying on stage. I use invisible wires and have them hoist me through the air. Wow, you just told me the secret to your magic. No, I broke the first rule, the cardinal rule, the only rule. I'm sorry, Max. I'm sorry you had to break a magician's creed to keep the magic trick secret. Nick, what do we do now? What we can do now is hope we find the flying criminal in court tomorrow. Great idea. Let's do our best and catch this sucker. To be continued. Oh. I got an extra day, though. That's all that matters. Not too bad. Not too bad. Hopefully I never have to talk to that stupid clown. Nick. What is it? I've got a confession to make. I'm terrible at figuring out magic tricks. Magic tricks? Yeah, magic tricks are by their definition tricks, right? But I can never figure out the tricks when I see them. I'm just not good at it. That's because the tricks are performed by pros. They do it so you can't guess the trick. But the trick Pearly showed me was incredible. Pearls did a magic trick. What kind of trick was it? Let's see. It looked like she pulled the end of her own thumb off. Oh my god. First she put her right thumb next to her left hand, and then it just separated. She could move it up and down and everything. It was incredible. Really? Was it kind of like this? What? How do you do that, Nick? You're like a real magician. See, this is why I just can't figure out magic. I'm not good at it. Especially hard tricks like flying around after the scene of a murder. You'll take all the fun out of magic if you keep trying to figure it out. Any ideas on what to do? I don't see any way out of this. We're stuck between a rock and a hard place. There's no way we can tell the mystery of a criminal flying by tomorrow. I was thinking, do you really think the criminal flew through the air? The only one who thinks that is Mo, right? He says that he saw it. That's true. Mo looked awfully serious when he said that. Do you think he might have been trying to frame Max? If that was it, he would have simply said, I saw Max. That would have been enough. There's no reason why anyone would believe he flew. Well, what if the criminal really did fly? There's only one person who could do that, Max. You're really not helping my confidence here, Maya. Can you not? Everyone here seems to hate Max. Ben, Trilo, Mo, they all have nothing nice to say. That magician does seem rather full of himself, doesn't he? Especially when he says things like, customers only go to see the circus to see him. He even hit Ben over the head with a bottle. But what? But that doesn't seem enough to frame another person for murder. And it was proven that neither Ben nor Mo lied on the stand. Maybe Ben saw the ringmaster wearing Max's costume, but Mo clearly said that he saw Max himself. Well, that was probably later on. Detention center. Oh, my sweeties. Do you mind hurrying up and getting me out of this place? We're doing our best, Max. Just hang in there. A little while ago, some people from a local TV station came by. They said that since I'm a famed magician, let's make your very own TV special. Really? What kind of TV special? Maximilian Galactica, The Great Prison Escape. It would be aired live. Hey, that sounds like it would be an awesome special. No, it wouldn't. But if I do the special before I'm acquitted, they'll never let me out here for real. Well, it's really be an unnecessary addition to your troubles with the law. That's what I was thinking, but the production staff is already working on the show. If you don't get me out here quick, I'll have no choice but to stage a real prison break. You seem awfully calm about that possibility. I'd have no choice. It would be a contractual obligation, not show business. Deny the crime. You didn't happen to fly off in the sky, did you? Here's how everything went down, sweetie. At the time of the murder, I was sitting in the ringmaster's room. Not to mention, flying off in the sky is not something I can do at will. I don't care what the stoogey clown says, it wasn't me. Max, do you mind teaching me the trick behind flying? You'll have to forgive me, sweetie. The difference between me and cheap imitation magicians is that I keep my mouth shut. I don't teach people tricks, but I will say this much. It's much harder than you think. I'm sure it is. I was thinking about this in court today. I've got a favor to ask of you. Anything for you, sweetie. Be friends with the other performers in the circus. Fabulous, a great joke. Why would I be friends with a bunch of hacks like that? But I've won on the world stage. I won the International Grand Prix. International Grand Prix. Performers should always look to perform on the world stage, but the performers at the circus are completely and utterly devoid of ambition. There's something I can simply not tolerate. Ambition, huh? Something about Max just said rings true to my ears. Oh my sweeties want to hear all about the Grand Prix, don't they? To be honest though, I've told this story like 100 times already, so it's a bit boring. We're sorry to make you tell it again. You must not have heard me. I am really sick of telling this story. But what can I do? I'm Maximilian Galactica. I suppose I can tell it again. Voila, here, take a look at this. I just happen to have a picture from the Grand Prix with me. Just look at the fabulous stage. This is the world's first stage that I ever flew on. I flew right over the audience. The crowd erupted into applause. At that time, I thought to myself that I could die right then and die a happy man. I've never forgot how I felt that night. The emotions, the acclaim. Wow. By the way, I think everyone who is a performer should get to experience that feeling. I just wish I could explain that to the other people in the circus. That's incredible, Max. I want a trophy too. Hey, Nick, how about you buy me a trophy? That's not how you earn a trophy, Maya. My sweeties, you can have this picture of my triumph. Just make sure you show it to all the other members of the circus. Watch and learn. That's what you should tell them. Learn how to get thrown in jail? Thank you. I'm sure that'll actually be unironically helpful.